So, based on the talk you gave to the challengers earlier today, what are the top 3 tips you think are important for them to take away?
I think the top 3 tips that I would give to any startup, and I do, first of all is ruthless focus. Focus, focus, focus. Focus on what you're doing, the direction you're going, the product, everything. Just stay extremely focused. Don't let outside things confuse you, bother you. Don't let them get you down. Just stay focused on doing what you need to do. The second one is customers and revenue. Those are really the only 2 things that matter. Whatever technology you think you've invented has probably been done before, and what you're here to do, really, all of us are here to do, is create a great business. And great businesses are wrapped around customers and revenue. Trust me, really, really important. The third thing is about investors. There are a lot of places to get money these days. Trust me, there are. You want to find investors that add value to you and to your team as a startup. Find people who have area expertise, domain expertise, who have invested in the kind of company you are or the technology that you're trying to bring to market. Always have value-added investors.
Okay, that's a real one. What do you think is the impact of programs such as Lead Challenge and Accelerators in general? Do you think it's a good thing to have them around?
I think it's excellent to have accelerators around. When I was doing startups myself and raising money and doing things, in the early 2000s to the late part of the 2000s, there were no accelerators. I made every mistake you can possibly make. It's really refreshing to have accelerators in the mix now that can help people understand what it takes to be a startup, how to be a startup, how to speak to investors, how to pitch to investors, how to talk to customers, how to get feedback. All of these things are part of what you get out of an accelerator, and I think the experience and the environment and what's being created, especially here at Lisbon Challenge, are fantastic.
Okay, and you're a mentor and you've been involved with startups for a while now. What is the thing that motivates you to get involved with that?
I think the biggest thing that drives me in being a mentor is really giving back. I did a lot of startup stuff earlier in my career, and there were no accelerators. There was no one to help. I had some great investors who were very cool and were very helpful, but there were no systems like Lisbon Challenge to really help you get things up and running and help you understand what it means to be a startup. So to me, it's about giving back. I've gotten a lot of great help and advice from a lot of great people over the years, and this is really about how I give back.
Great. And we move to the next one, which is, do you think there is something that successful founders do have in particular qualities?
Successful founders do have some very particular qualities. One is a drive and a passion for what they're doing. You have to have that if you ever even imagine that you're going to succeed. You have to believe that you're going to succeed. Founders have to be smart. They have to get along. You have to understand it's kind of like being in a family once you're kind of locked together as a co-founder. I also look for co-founders that have domain expertise. They're not just making something up out of nowhere. They need to kind of have something, some sort of knowledge about what they're doing. And the other thing really is they have to believe they can do it. And it doesn't really matter. Honestly, people pivot constantly as they move through the timeline of their startup, and that's okay. It's okay to change. It's okay to pivot. You have to be someone who's able to accept that kind of change. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. Just fail forward. Don't get dragged down by it. It's just something that happens, because if you ain't failing, you ain't trying.
That's a good one. And the last one is about probably the people you already spoke to. Anyone that stood out in particular?
Let's see what their name is again. Yep, that's it. Probably the team that stood out to me the most so far was OmniPaste. They're solving a real problem of moving data, my own data, between different devices without using a hack like email or any of these other convoluted sort of things we do these days. It should be that easy to copy and paste between devices, and these guys are solving a big problem.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, cool. That's great.
All right, let me